going to keep plugging along here. It's been a heck of a day, but the beauty of it, Mark, is people are dropping some serious information on us and telling us some great things. It's turning out to be a phenomenal day, even though Murphy came to try to take the title back. So we're going to keep chugging along here. We got Charlie Hall joining us. He's a graduate of West Point, served on active duty for about 10 years in both the Army and Marine Corps. After a deployment to Iraq, Charlie moved to Greenville, South Carolina, and began work in the private sector, as well as being in the Marine Reserves. He served on active duty as the District Injured Support Coordinator for the state of South Carolina and Georgia with the Marine Corps Wounded Warrior Regiment from 2009 to 2014. While volunteering with Upstate Warrior Solution in its formative years, he is now the president of Upstate Warrior Solution and continues to serve in the Marine Corps Reserves. Charlie, how are you doing this fine morning?
Good to be on, guys. Thank you.
Hey, Charlie. Thanks for joining.
It is great to have you on here today. So, real quick, I'm just kind of curious. I've talked to a few people. What's the difference between, Army and Reserve life, or Army and Marine life? You experience both a little bit. Give us some insight to that real quick.
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast, but, I think the similarities are actually, there's more similarities than differences. The infantry is the infantry, but, the big difference is the Marine Corps is a sea service. So you got to get used to all that Navy language. Honestly, the Marine Corps and the Army had very similar missions in Iraq and Afghanistan for a decade. So there's a lot of crossover, but yeah, let's just say when you're 23 years old and you're married to the Marine's daughter, sometimes end up doing some crazy things. So yeah, I switched over when I was a young man.
Okay. I can appreciate that. I was in Ramadi with 1st Armored Division, so we fell into the Marines and had to learn a few words here and there. So it was definitely interesting. So in your bio, you talk about how you were not only doing the active duty thing with the South Carolina and Georgia Wounded Warrior Regiment, but you started volunteering with Upstate Warrior Solution. So what made you look into the volunteering side while you were still doing such a great mission with the active duty?
Yeah, so like a lot much about the VA, I didn't know about a lot about the nonprofit community. And while I was doing that active duty job as a social Marines and Navy corpsman, I saw gaps in the local community. We saw, the large national organizations, and nothing against them, but, the Wounded Warrior Projects, the Team Red, White, and Blues, the Rubicons doing a lot of great work in the national chapters in the community. But we saw a bit of a gap level, and we saw a gap with just really building relationships in local communities. So it was something that saw the value of that, had me doing that. They had me going to guys' houses and checking on them, to know them and their families, helping them figure out how to navigate whatever challenges they had. So in my last couple years on active duty, we started Upstate Warrior Solution to fill that gap.
And that is amazing. You said social worker. Did you wind up getting a degree in social work, or you just sort of working in the field?
No, I mean, the Marine Corps actually took me and about 100 other reservists and threw us out in the field with a BlackBerry, 50 cents a mile, and gave us a caseload of about 100 folks. So I've never gotten a social work degree. Several master's and bachelor's level social workers that work on my team now. But in many ways, doing this work is really all about relationship and a relationship over a cup of coffee, and then helping each other along the way. Social workers are a valuable part of that. But you don't have to be a social worker to do this well.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the people that you've already served and been able to help, right? What's been most impactful for those folks that you've helped with or assisted with?
Yeah. So again, there's really just I think a gap with the real community level. So I think the biggest that's been the takeaway for us here in the upstate of Carolina is the relationships built. It's the one on under what somebody's challenged with, whether they're struggling or whether they're enrolling, start a company, trying to stay married. We're all together, and it's about that local relationship. That's been the biggest component of this is get to know each other, identify what I call the need beneath the need. Everybody's got things that are kind of that they're struggling with, and it takes relationship and conversation and FaceTime to get to know what those needs are.
No, that's awesome. Definitely so. And I think that you said the key word, which is relationship, right? It's all about the relationship. And if you're not able to build those, and if you're not out networking, you can't build the relationships. So that is super key. Especially we're seeing that even in the civilian sector. It's everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So tell us about Upstate Warrior Solution. What is it? What do you guys do? What's the specialty?
Yeah. So really excited to tell you about Upstate Warrior. I would say that we actually work very closely with Veterans Ascend. It's cool when worlds collide. But Bruce has found people as a Navy vet and used to be on my team and then founded Veterans Ascend. So it's been cool to see, didn't expect to see Bruce on today. But yeah, so Upstate Warrior Solution is really kind of micro local. We cover 10 counties South Carolina. So we're headquartered in Greenville. I know the upstate, Greenville, Anderson, Spartanburg are kind of the metro area. And really what we started 10 years ago out of the playbook that I learned from the Marine Corps, it was get out in the community, not in uniform, not with rank on your collar, but get out in the community and meet veterans where they are. And we've been meeting veterans in the last 10 years. Higher ed, where they're using their GI Bill. We've got a relationship with all of our detention centers because unfortunately vets are getting arrested. We're meeting in corporate America, at the VA, at gyms, at barbershops, at churches. So that was really the foundation of what we wanted to start 10 years ago, was have a local nonprofit that was veteran-centric with mostly veteran employees. We're about 50-50 now, veteran and civilian employees. But get out in the community, meet veterans where they are, and then get them connected to their resources. Now, 10 years in, we're working with, so on the employment side, we might connect someone with Bruce at Veterans Ascend that's just getting off active duty in California and moving back to South Carolina. But then at the local level, when they get here and they've got their Veterans Ascend profile rocking, we might connect them to the local National Guard or Goodwill employment rep, who's the employers in the community. So it's really using a good mix of local and national resources to serve our vets in the area.
Does that include the VA? I'm not sure. I can't remember in Greenville or not where the VA facility is, but are you guys tied in pretty closely with the VA to get those resources and information out as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And there are three arms of the VA: administration, the benefits administration, and the SERI. So we don't really interface a lot with the SIM administration, thankfully, but the VA Healthcare Administration is a big part of our work. We have 3 community-based outpatient clinics in the upstate, in Spartanburg and Anderson, and all part of the Columbia, South Carolina VA network. And then we work very closely with all of our county VA service officers that do claims, that push claims to the Columbia be a regional office. A dotted line arm off of the Health VA Vet Centers. We have 4 VA Vet Centers in the state, and our Greenville Vet Center covers upstate South Carolina and Western Carolina. So centers, I think, are an underutilized resource. They're mostly counselors and social workers that do talk therapy. And we're actually co-located with the Greenville Vet Center. So that's been a great relationship with the VA.
Excellent.
No, that's great, especially if you can co-locate. That almost takes that networking to the next level, where you're co-locating with services that are just as important, that are doing great things. So what other organizations, local or national, does Upstate Warrior Solution try to partner with or has partnered with?
Yeah, so in many ways, we have to partner with almost everyone, because when you're looking at veterans holistically and trying to help them get all elements of their life squared away, you have to have almost every organization at your fingertips. But I'll take employment just in particular, because Bruce was talking, and that's a big deal for transitioning vets right now. There's national level tech organizations like Veterans Ascend that I think are great for connecting folks at a very broad level. But then we spend a lot of time with our local organizations. So our state has a program called Operation Palmetto Employment, and that's a partnership between our state Department of Employment and Workforce, and those are DOL funded veterans reps in the local community. Everybody's got a diva in their local community. You just got to find them. Sometimes that can challenge. And then our National Guard in South Carolina has employment reps that serve not only Guard but also their families. So we work very closely with the National Guard and the State Department of Workforce, and then Goodwill, some local staffing companies, and then those national level resources like Veterans Ascend.
How do I get into the program? Is there an application process? Is there an onboarding? What does that look like? Charlie,
Yeah,
did you hear that?
The question was about get in.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess we got a little bit of a delay, but yeah, I think your question is about how to get in. Our main source is just through our website. I see my LinkedIn profile scrolling. Our website would be my LinkedIn profile, but you can basically go to get support or get involved on our website, and we'll send you over to our team, and we'll get connected with you usually within 24 hours. We're also working with the State Department of Affairs. We have a new State Department of Veterans Affairs run by Secretary Will Grimsley, who's a 2-star, and we're developing a statewide network called Combined Arms. Combined Arms is starting to pop up in other states. It was really started in Houston with the S.O.S Veterans Network, but we're going to have a statewide South Carolina network that will be a veteran-facing platform where you'll be able to go on and tell us about your needs and then get connected to resources. But for now, veterans who live state or are interested in the Greenville, Spartanburg, Anderson area site, and go on the Get Support link and fill out that profile form.
Excellent. Yeah, I was wondering how you get involved. Let's say, for example, somebody's going through the program, or somebody's just passionate about making an impact in that area, right? Maybe they're local to the upstate South Carolina area. How do they get involved, right? Is that just through the website and contacting you guys? You guys are also, I believe, a 501c3, correct? So, how also do you get funded, and is there ways to participate in that?
Yeah, so again, great website. A lot of that information is there. But whether you're a veteran looking for services, whether you're a veteran wanting to volunteer, even if you're not a veteran and you're looking to become a volunteer, become a donor, become a mentor, it all starts with through our intake system. We sit down with you, we hear your story, we get to know you, figure out how to get you plugged in. So again, you can go on our website, check that out. And then we just have a lot of access points across the again. Outreach to our local colleges right now where veterans are using their GI Bills or orientations to talk about this. We have a relationship with a lot of employers. So if you're working at a company in the upstate, there's a chance we come by and see you once a year and talk to HR and figure out who the veterans are at companies. Unfortunately, if you get arrested, you pop on our radar and we reach out to you, try to figure out what's going on in your life that caused that arrest, and a lot of other intake points in that continuum. But it kind of all starts with our website. Thanks for popping it up there on the screen as well. UpstateWarriorSolution.org.
Yes, sir.
So, fellowships. When I was looking through your website when we first talked, you guys do something with fellowships, which struck me as pretty cool. Considering I'm doing the whole CSP process now, trying to get out of the military. So that really jumped out at me. So can you tell us a little bit about the fellowship program?
Yeah, so our fellowship program is about 5 years old, and we kind of took a Continues playbook. Mission Continues traditionally did fellowships around the country for vets for 6 months at nonprofit organizations. We had Continues fellows, so we borrowed a bit from their playbook. So when a veteran is transitioning, typically using their GI Bill in higher ed, we like to get fellows that are in from a part-time job, doing outreach, some light casework, community engagement, and networking in their community of fellows that are basically attached to our advocates that are full-time folks. Those fellows are doing outreach and engagement to veterans. We're actually hope to tag on with the DoD Skill Bridge program. So as we get skill bridgers that are coming out of the military, they could come on and become an Upstate Warrior fellow and be kind of part of that transition process. So yeah, we've actually got a new cohort of fellows starting this month. It's typically 6 months, but can extend folks another 6 months to a year as a paid intern, which is a part-time position at Upstate Warrior Solution.
No, that's a great opportunity, especially if, that whole transition piece out of the military, trying to learn new skills, possibly find a job. I mean, that's just amazing. You guys have that opportunity, especially in a field like this that, helps so many people. So you told us a little bit about how you can get, register and get into the program. What about people who want to help out, whether it be volunteers or financially? What kind of things are you guys looking for in that aspect that people might be able to help you out with?
Yes, on the volunteer side, we really have quite a few pipelines for mentorship. We're involved with 2 veterans treatment courts that we are partnering with here in the Upstate, in Greenville and in Spartanburg. To have a court in Anderson starting. So we're always looking for veterans treatment court mentors. It's a bit of a heavy lift because you basically get a veteran buddy that has gotten arrested and you're becoming their big brother, big sister for the next year. Really important program that we're involved with. But then we have more of an informal kind of career mentorship program where to figure out what they're going to be next, we'll assign in the community just as a coffee network to help them think through what they're going to do. And then we also have some physical volunteer opportunities with serving in one of our 4 offices or serving as a liaison to one of our partner organizations. So, for example, we've got a couple volunteers that are already Habitat for Humanity volunteers, so they serve as liaison back to us to keep us back in the loop on what's going on with Habitat. Veteran Building will help resource that. So we like have extensions of us out into other nonprofits in the community. And then on the giving side, obviously, profit needs gifts. So we have also on our website give to a specific grant, and those are detailed out link on our website. We are pretty much funded. Probably we have not pursued any federal government grants until recently. That's actually changing. The VA is starting to fund organizations like Upstate Warrior Solution to do upstream suicide prevention. So that's something that we're looking at for the future. And I think as a result, you'll start to see more Upstate Warrior organizations popping up in other metro areas in the country to be that one-stop shop vets. And again, suicide prevention is an upstream approach. If you help a veteran get squared away with their finances, their employment, their relationships, their health, they're going to be less likely to take their life. So it's been interesting to see how the VA in particular is looking at suicide being an upstream approach. And we're really excited about that. We think it's the right way to look at things.
Yeah, that brings up a good point, and I've often wondered this. I mean, how much veteran suicide is related to situational, right, aspects of their lives, and how much is more physiological, right? Are you guys addressing and seeing that both sides?
Yeah, we are. Veteran suicide is an issue in every community. Just out of the folks that we know, we probably have 2 or 3 suicides a year just from the small number of vets we know. We've met about 8,000 of the 100,000 that are in our catchment area. So veteran suicide is definitely still an issue. And yeah, I mean, we see it as a kind of a whole of life issue. Every suicide is unique, and usually you can trace it back to a stressor, whether it's a divorce, whether it's losing a job, it's having financial problems. Obviously, there's a post-traumatic stress, combat-related issues that are still a part of veterans' lives. But every is unique, and that's why it's important to get to know vets and hear their story and get beneath the need, because the outreach of the community and friends and the community of veterans, we're going to be there. And as we develop those relationships at the community level, we're going to be able to put a dent in veteran suicide.
No, that's huge. That'll be absolutely amazing. It's such a one troubling spot, and two, the fact that we continue to lose so many people is just frustrating to say the least. So what kind of events do you guys have coming up? I'm assuming you guys are partnering with some people. You're probably involved in some local events. So what kind of events you got coming up that people can check out?
Yeah, so again, if you go to our website and go to our organizational calendar, that links you back to the Facebook calendar where we have events throughout the month. We have an outdoor rec in partnership with our local hospital system, Prisma Health. We have events throughout the month for veterans to rec. I personally do a veteran swimming program every Tuesday, Thursday. It's been pretty cool. Whitewater rafting. We have fly fishing groups, and we have a new partnership with Team River Runner. They're doing whitewater kayak training at a local pool, and
that's cool.
veterans are going to be able to do Team River Runner trips in So we're out a big piece. And then we've got obviously a ton of stuff coming up, Veterans Day month.
Yeah, so if you're a member of that group and you're participating in Upstate Warrior Solution, I see on the Facebook page there are like a ton of events. Family hike, shark cage diving. Man, that's awesome. So just tons of opportunities to get involved. Do you have to be in the program or just in the area?
No, basically you just have to be a veteran in the area, and we do an initial assessment with you, and we validate your veteran service because that's important to make sure you actually are a veteran. Get to know you a bit, and then you can get plugged into those opportunities. And yeah, that shark diving is in partnership with the aquarium in Atlanta. That's a pretty cool experience, and a lot of interest in that. And then I would just also say that we've got a great partnership with a newer nonprofit that's national level called Veterans Last Patrol. And Veterans Last Patrol is run out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. A retired Army colonel is running that program, and they do outreach to veterans that are in hospice care. So we do a lot of joint events with Veterans Last Patrol to go out and visit veterans in the community that are in their last few days and honor them and give them some gifts and honor their service. That's been a cool partnership as well with Veterans Last Patrol.
Yeah, that is an awesome organization. Their mission. My wife is a social worker, actually, and that's one of the things she's talked about. She's worked in nursing homes and skilled facilities, talking about the hospice care piece and how there's more of a need for it. So the fact that there's a national organization doing stuff like that is just absolutely amazing. So we're about out of time. Charlie, is there anything else you want to tell the audience, whether it be about Upstate Warrior Solution or any of the other things you have your hands in? Yeah,
so our big project right now, we're going to be opening up a 40,000 square foot resource center in Greenville in January. We've been developing this for years now, and up early 2023. It's going to be a one-stop shop for veterans in the community. So we're going to have community partners, a lot of what we've mentioned today, VA, Veterans Last Patrol, these outdoor programs, Team River Runner. But we're also going to have full service opportunity to purchase your home. So United Home Loans is going to be in our building, along with veteran-friendly real estate agent and veteran-friendly attorneys. So there'll be a place where a homeless veteran may come in and get services for a few years, but then we work them up the chain to get them in a place where they're secure to even purchase their own home. So the River Hughes Veteran Resource Center will be opening in January, and we've got a tab about that on our website as well. So we're really excited about that. We think it's somewhat of a first event, especially in South Carolina. We've borrowed some best practices from some other communities, but really excited about that Veteran Resource Center opening up next year.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, I mean, you guys are really doing. I mean, so I'm down here in Texas, and there's a lot of veteran service organizations as well. You've got Military City, San Antonio here, but I'm up in Dallas, and there's not really a whole lot. I mean, I got to drive across the Metroplex 45 minutes to an hour just to get to the VA. So it's great to hear what you guys are doing in South Carolina. That's awesome.
Yeah, in more rural communities, it's an interesting dynamic because a lot of resources for veterans, and it's in some ways easier to get to those resources. So Greenville, Spartanburg is still a kind of a mid-sized metro area. It's just not truly rural, but we're a half an hour away from rural areas. So we're trying to make sure all those resources for veterans are attainable in kind of that one-stop shop approach. Because as y'all been talking to other folks in your podcast this morning, I've been listening in. they're out there. You just got to know where to find them. And so let's bring them all under one roof, and let's create a network that wherever veterans come in, whether it be school, be their employer, whether it be their church, whether it be their gym, or even the detention center, they're immediately identified, assessed. They develop a relationship with another veteran in their community who understands the network, and then they get them plugged in. We think it's going to be the way other communities do business for years to come.
Very impactful.
I mean, we've heard time and time again, there's 40,000 plus organizations. So many probably doing a lot of the same thing, whereas we could pull our resources and do so much better. I'll tell you, Charlie, love what you're doing. The Upstate Warrior Solution, helping veterans in the South Carolina area. Absolutely love it. I know they love you up there and what you guys are doing. Looking forward to seeing that new facility open. I know that's going to be huge. May even potentially create maybe some jobs with that facility, which will be always good. But we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you dealing with all the comms issues we've had today, and the delays. It's just been one of those days. I appreciate your flexibility, and hope to hear more great things coming out of what you guys are doing. And don't be a stranger.
Yeah, I'm just a slow talking Marine, South Carolina, so I'm used to delays. We're all good. It was great to be on today.
All right. Thanks a lot, Charlie, and good luck to you.
Charlie.
Thank you, guys.